2, drink water. Don't drink and drive.
Game over!
Take it light. Okay.
Now you're more fluent.
Mackinac, he's got 3!
Up, Bears.
So this is really good right here. Absolutely. Let's do it.
Welcome back to Texas Rangers with the Boys. We are the Boys, your daily Texas Rangers podcast by a couple of pro wrestlers who love Rangers baseball. We want to thank you for listening, for making us the first listen of our day. This is your boy Kev, a.k.a. YBK. You know, I can't get super loud and wild because the little manimals back there doing some hibernating, and I'm trying to keep it chill, but it's really hard after that incredible walk-off home run that we got from Josh Smith last night for the Rangers. Man, oh man, probably the moment of the year at home versus Houston. Everything's on the line. Big moment for the Rangers. Tough game, tough win, and what a great way to get this week started off for Texas Rangers baseball. Also a good time just to let you know and just remind you that, you know, if you looked out, let's just say you were on the opposite side of that home run by Josh Smith, and you watched that thing go into the stands. If you looked right up above it, you'd see that 2023 World Series banner hanging there because your Texas Rangers are the 2023 World Series champs. Just felt like it was a good time to remind everybody after a walk-off against the rival Houston Astros. Let's talk social media, and then let's have a little fun today. We don't have a ton of news, but we do have a fun box score and a couple of little tidbits about the team. So, and we're probably going to talk a little bit of bullpen just for the heck of it because
we got a season debut tomorrow too.
Whew, yeah, we got some time. We got some stuff to talk about. Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about. So we will preview the rest of this Astros series. We will be off tomorrow, but let's get these social medias out of the way. You can check me out, Kevin Lee Frazier. That's Frezier. You can also check out Texas Rangers with the Boys on social media. That's TX Rangers WTB. Twitter heating up, or the X is heating up for Texas Rangers with the Boys all of a sudden. And you can also check us out right here on the Sports Flint Network on YouTube. Just type in Texas Rangers with the Boys in that search bar, and you'll find us. And you know what else you can do? You can go check out the website, TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com.
That's all one word.
And joining me tonight, day, whatever, as always, my co-host, the 300-pound animal, a.k.a. Bull. How you doing, buddy? How you feeling about this big walk-off win?
Doing good. I felt pretty good. Like I felt pretty good about that Corey Seager at bat. That in the 8th, I felt like he was going to get him right there, and he did. And then I kind of thought it was going to be Grossman that did it in the 10th, but ended up being Josh Smith. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. First walk-off home run of the season for the Texas Rangers,
and of Josh Smith's entire baseball career.
Entire. He never even had one, like.
Never had a walk-off home run in his whole career, he said after the game.
Very, very cool for him. Very big win for the Texas Rangers. He knew it the moment that he hit it, that was going into the stands, and that was a no-doubter for sure. And it was really nice that they didn't waste that Heaney start, because I remember last week when we did question and answer, they were the fan base. Kind of us a little bit too. We're ready to take Andrew Heaney's access card to the clubhouse. So good to see that they got that win tonight after he threw so well. He really only made 2 bad pitches, in my opinion, the whole game. That 0-2 slider that came way in and hit McCormick, or the kid that plays center field. I can't remember which one, but that 0-2 slider, and then that 0-1 changeup that he left up to Bregman that was right down the what they call it, Broadway, right down Broadway.
As Randy Savage would say, down the pike.
Down the pike. But yeah, that was definitely down the pike if there was ever a pitch that was down the pike. But that changeup left up. But other than that, Heaney was fabulous. It started off a little bit scary with that leadoff walk to Altuve, but he only gave up, I think, the one hit to Altuve, or the one hit to Bregman, and then maybe one other to Altuve. But they could have already been into the bullpen, and by then. I'm not sure. I can't remember, but really nice performance. We'll talk about that
Well,
more.
thanks
when we get
everybody
into
for
the
tuning in. This has been Texas Rangers with the boys.
Well, all right. Good show tonight. We got it in under 5 minutes. Let me let everybody know that you can find me at Manimal Bull on Twitter, Instagram, Manimal300, and both Facebook and TikTok at Bull Pro. So it was a great show, Kev. I really enjoyed all of tonight's antics. We really got it in a hurry. But before we get started on actual Ranger news, we got to remind everybody that Friday, October 18th at Martin House Brewing Company. We all know where it is. It's right there on 121 in Sylvania, right across the street from Top Golf, right across that Trinity River from Top Golf. So come on down to Martin House Brewing. We're going to have a big time planned for you on the 2-year anniversary show. The main event is a 4-way dog collar match with Brick Savage, Damo McCullough, and the Dantes. Dante Leone and Dante Smiley. So there's a good chance that we'll walk out of that thing seeing a new heavyweight champion or a new Trinity River Heritage champion, because if you're in the ring there with Brick and Damo and Dante Smiley, I don't know that Dante Leone's going to survive the night, being the guy that holds the belt. But anyways, that's going to be a big time. They're going to have food out there. They're going to have all the beer you can drink from Martin House Brewing. They're going to have all their beverages on tap and to go. You can buy some to go if you want to. So come on out, see our good buddy at the Starry's ice cream table, because she's always got the best treats in Fort Worth, best desserts. So come on out Friday, October 18th for the 2-year anniversary show of Matt War Pro. Can you believe it's been 2 years already? We've been doing advertisements for them pretty much since that very first one.
Well, yeah, it's been fun the whole time. I threw my name in the hat to open the show with the Star Spangled Banner. So we'll see if that actually happens. I'll be available. I threw it out there.
Yeah, good. Well, yeah, it's, the change of date gives you a little more availability there. So
sure did.
I'm not exactly sure what'll be needed of me on the 2-year anniversary show, but I imagine they'll try and showcase the Manimal at some point.
Oh, they better. Well, man, we've got a little bit of Ranger news. There's a new Iron Man. Not really a new Iron Man, but an unsung Iron Man in Major League Baseball, and he is part of the Texas Rangers organization. Now, Cal Ripken Jr., the quintessential Iron Man, played 2,632 baseball games in a row. But the Rangers' Chuck Morgan has had 3,300.
Yeah,
Well,
3,300 games tonight. Last night was his 3,300th game consecutively. I believe that also spans over both the Texas Rangers and the Kansas City Royals, because I believe 1 year, but that may have been before the change. I'm not sure. I can't remember correctly, but yeah, 3,300 games. That's 20 plus years. I did the math. That's 20 years of games, and basically another third of a season of doing games every day. So Chuck Morgan, the Iron Man of the Texas Rangers.
Well, I don't know what other Rangers news we've got besides the Chuck Morgan.
No, and I can't even slide in a whole lot of minor league news, because really not a whole lot going on in the minor leagues on a Monday night either. So
no, but we do have a topic. We do have a topic. We were going to just talk a little bullpen. It feels like every quarter we got to talk bullpen, and Rangers bullpen.
State of the Union, huh? Like
yeah,
a Rangers,
State of the Union.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna kick it off, giving you some credit, because we haven't talked a ton about this on the show. I don't think. I know you brought it up and mentioned it, but a lot of the Rangers' young minor league pitchers have struggled. And one of the things you brought up, you keep bringing up over and over again, is that they don't have an out pitch. And you talk about Tyler Mahle, and you say, man, this guy's great because he's got out pitches that start in the strike zone and blah, 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 blah. And, man, we saw Andrew Chafin come out, and the guy's literally bouncing sliders off the ground, and guys are chasing it. You talk about one of probably the best out pitches I've seen all year long. That slider that he throws, that's what an out pitch looks like.
Well, and what's really dangerous about him is that he can put that ball on the corners anytime he wants, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you saw it in that last at bat that he had with 2 outs there.
Mm-hmm.
And, he threw 3 balls that bounced in the dirt in a row that he was trying to get a swing on. And then when he got to 3-2, he threw the perfect slider.
Yeah, dude.
It was like right there on the edge. If he was going to hit it, in 3-2, he just bounced 3 in a row. If you're that hitter, you've got to be thinking fastball, right? The idea that, like, he just bounced 3 of these in a row. He's got to go back to the fastball here. And then he throws a perfect slider on the edge of the plate that basically rubs the black.
Yeah. Yeah. What kind of.
Also, real quick with Andrew Chafin, how smooth was that step off on 3-2 there when he stepped back towards second base? He damn near had that kid that was hitting. He damn near had him in his swing when he
looked like he meant to do it, man.
Yeah. Oh, young buddy was about to swing the bat whenever Chafin stepped off. It was a thing of beauty. You don't see a lot of really smooth, like, turns like that to where it's almost like he's in motion to pitch and then goes back. But I thought that was perfect.
I love how he like finished it off with a little strut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he was like Doc Holliday just shooting somebody, like the old sheriff right there. I love it. Yeah, Andrew Chafin, that was really impressive stuff because Leclerc he buried himself in a hole and once he got the bunt out, you had to go to Chafin. And I thought Chafin, into the first batter that he faced, I thought he did a good job of throwing a bunch of pitches that, like, if I get a swing and miss, fine. But I'm not throwing him anything to hit right now. I'm going to take my chances with the bases loaded, a force play at any bag. And he worked through that and got the 2 outs that he needed. But I thought he did a good job coming in behind Leclerc, who could only get the 1 out on the sacrifice bunt. And so Chafin, you can't be mad at what you saw today. It looks like those big situations don't seem to bother him at all. And it wasn't like he got brought in to face 3 lefties in a row. And, he had Dubon so fooled on those breaking pitches that he couldn't hold himself up on those balls that were bouncing 3-4 feet in front of the plate.
Yeah, man. I'm obviously a little bit of a rough start for Chafin, but he's really been he just has really almost sometimes players just get to Texas, and you know how Rangers fans are, man. They just kind of fit right in. Another guy who's really fit right in with this team, couple of guys, but we can start off with one. David Robertson too, man. Talk about a guy, man, that can just paint the corners, does all the things that you want to see from a bullpen guy.
Yeah, and when he got into that bases loaded situation tonight, he made a great pitch to get the out with the infield in, or at least with the corners in right there. It just Young couldn't make. That was a tough play. It looked like he was going to score no matter what, even if he made a perfect throw to Kelly. But then he settled right in and got those next 2 and got them back into the dugout and put them in a place to where. They gave up the lead. He blew the save or whatever, but, or blew the hold or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, it wasn't like he went out there and then after he had bases loaded, 1 out, giving up 1 run, that he goes out there and implodes and turns into a 4 or 5 run inning, which, a couple of base hits, and that's what it turns into. So, good job from Robertson to just get him back on track after he gives up the run and make sure that it doesn't turn into a big inning for the Astro Bats.
Yeah, and where would this team be without David Robertson?
Oh, well, him and Yates have been really the only 2 sure things pretty much out of this bullpen all season. So it's like, tonight wasn't his best outing, but the effort at the end to make sure that it turned into just 1 run and not get out of hand right there. It's not exactly what you want. It's not how you would draw it up if you were drawing it up in a picture perfect situation, but it's huge because now every time someone comes to the plate, you've got your tying run at the plate instead of it being like, oh, we got to peck away in this thing in 2 innings. And, Seager does the job in the 8th and, gets him to Kirby Yates, who was really good in the 9th. And then he had the phantom hit by pitch. That didn't hit that dude. That ball was like this far away from him. What are we all watching that?
Well, let me kind of mention and let me pull you back off the game again. With Yates and Robertson, obviously, if they're not perfect, they have their moments, but they've made so many big moments happen for the team this year. And one of the things that I like, one of the things that they have done when they have struggled, with the exception of, I think, maybe one time with Robertson, but they're not going out there and just getting the team out of contention. And, that's something that the Rangers have struggled all year, but I feel like they've really, since the All-Star break, turned a pretty good corner in most cases of not, getting themselves out of a close game in that 6th, 7th inning. And you got to give credit to guys like Josh Sborz, who've come back and pitched pretty well. You bringing in, talking about Chafin. Go ahead.
I mean, I guess kind of Leclerc is kind of pitching himself out of those situations, but he's going to get opportunities because the stuff is good.
Right.
But, right now he's kind of pitched himself into that same kind of, he got an opportunity tonight. I can't imagine Bruce Bochy and Mike Maddox were happy with what they got from him. But, he's still a vital part of that bullpen, regardless of how bad or good he's pitching. And when he's good, he's good. But the last 3 or 4 appearances out, he hasn't been very good at all. And, that was on the heels of him having a pretty good stretch. So hopefully he gets it back together. The Rangers need him when he's good. They're a better team.
Right.
But we've talked about that with a handful of relievers that aren't on this club anymore. When Jonathan Hernandez was good, he was good for the team. But when he's not good for the team, you're ready to DFA him because you're out of options on him, and he just hasn't done the job that you needed him to do.
Yeah, and one thing too, just to kind of ease everybody's minds a little bit too, bullpen is year to year. Leclerc is a great example of that. That look, man, you don't know what you're going to get. He and again, don't be mad next year if the Rangers let him walk and he goes and closes 35 games for Milwaukee or something. Or who knows? Yeah, whatever. But so, and you can't get mad because that's just the way it goes. I mean, guys like Robertson, who are good every single year pretty much, are extremely rare. And that's why he got 13 or whatever he got this
12
year.
12 or 13 or whatever. Yeah. And again, this time last year, Leclerc was kind of getting into a groove. So there's still time for it to happen. And it's not like, I don't know. But he hasn't been very good his last a couple outings. That's what I'll say. I don't want to look into the future too much. We both know, me and you both know, and all Ranger fans know that the Rangers are a better team whenever Jose Leclerc is good. And, nobody, if he's going to pitch, is going to be pulling for him to fail. But at the same time, it's easy to jump right on top of him as soon as anything bad happens.
Well, we're losing ratings talking about Jose Leclerc. Anybody else in this
what else we got? I think Dunning and Bradford and those guys are kind of in there to fill a role. I don't know if Urena will make a start on Tuesday or not. There may be a chance that Dunning makes that start not on Tuesday, on Wednesday.
We'll
talk about that too here in a little bit.
Josh Sborz has been, really, aside from the health, I feel like Josh Sborz has had a really pretty good season overall.
Yeah, and even with a tick down in velocity as well.
Yeah, and I think with him, the positive thing is that you've seen him, and again, I think you'd probably even see more had he stayed, been healthy for the majority of the year. But he really is one that did take advantage of that momentum that he picked up last year in the playoffs and really came out with a lot of confidence this year coming out of the bullpen. We had a lot of confidence in him. And I still think maybe his best part of the year might be ahead of him.
I think so. And he's pretty fresh. I think that
when you
helps.
bring up an out pitch, he's got a nasty
couple.
Yeah, he's got a couple out pitches, and that's part of the reason he can be effective for this team. And a guy that like you love that you've got guys now that you can go to righty lefty in the 7th inning, and now you've got Robertson Yates at the back end of that bullpen.
Yeah, because excuse me. We talked about last night when we were talking. I sent you a message. It was like, oh, more 7th inning woes, and I'm like, oh, never mind.
JK.
Yeah, just kidding. Don't ignore that last text.
You've got all of these guys that we just mentioned have the ability to come in and close a game if they need to.
I think so. And even though right now I wouldn't put a reliability on Leclerc doing it, I mean, we've seen it in the past.
I knew you couldn't resist it. I was going to try not to say it, but
no, I had to.
Just trying to trigger my sister.
Yeah, no, that's what happens whenever you try and get me to blasphemize that man on Twitter or whatever. That's not going to happen, man.
Well,
world champions because of
you know what? A guy that we were really looking forward to seeing this year in the bullpen as well, that we haven't quite gotten to see, and he's starting to pitch again in the minor leagues, and that's Mark Church. Any chance that you think maybe that we might get to see Mark Church get a crack at this bullpen this year?
Well, he's going to have to be healthy and getting out to AAA before that's even a thought process, I would imagine. But if he comes back and he's throwing fastball, slider, and he's getting outs with it, I mean, don't never ever say never ever, right? I mean.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you brought up out pitches. Another guy with one of the best pitches in the entire organization with that slider. So a guy that if he's being consistent and getting guys out could come up to the major leagues and make an impact pretty quick.
Yeah, I also saw that Robbie Ahlstrom moved from Frisco to Round Rock. So they're looking at guys. I mean, they've got a handful of guys there at Round Rock that are still kind of young, that have good enough stuff. Now it's just finding them a roster spot or an opportunity to get into a roster spot.
Well, Robbie Ahlstrom is a man. He's about 6'7". So big guy, big kid that can definitely strike guys out. Well, now we've brought up Ahlstrom, we brought up Mark Church. It gives me a great opportunity to tell you guys about our exclusive content down on the farm with the boys, where we cover all things Rangers, minor league. Ahlstrom, Mark Church, Grant Wolfram. Rangers got some guys that are possibly able to fill some bullpen slots here for this team. So if you're on the major league roster right now and you're not getting the job done, these young cats are ready to go. So if you want to hear us talk about these guys and a handful of other players, go check out our exclusive content. It's called Down on the Farm with the Boys. We cover all things Rangers minor league. Right now we are in the throes of the top 40 prospect list for 2024. Is it the first one of the year? It's the year.
I guess well, we do the update in the off season in December. So
first one of the year. Yep, post draft. So we've actually got all the draft picks included, all the ones that are relevant in that top 40 prospect list. They're in there. We covered one of those over the last episode where we covered the number 40 through number 31. So if you want to give that a listen, just go over to our website, TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com.
That's all one word.
Or you can check us out on Spotify. It's just $1.99 a month. Make us your one-stop shop for all things Rangers, organization-wide. I'm telling you, man, like if you want to take your baseball like IQ up a notch, especially about these Texas Rangers, this is the place to go, man. Like this shows how I learned how the Rule 5 draft works, and I mean and who's eligible, who's not. This is where I learned about how minor league contracts and all that stuff. Like, I'm telling you guys, like, there's so much that goes on that you probably just don't hear about in the everyday news with the team. And this is where you're going to find out those extra juicy details that you don't hear right here on the main show.
Our good buddy TJ's, he's got his top 5 ready. So I think we'll put that out there this week.
Okay.
So
and if you got your top, top people,
5, 10, 40.
Yeah, send them to us. We're going to talk about them there on that exclusive content. And speaking of TJ, big shout out to our farmhands.
Absolutely.
Make it all
Those
possible.
guys know how to party.
Yeah, they do. And they make it all possible for us here on the main show. So big thank you to you guys. Well, hey, with you've been trying to talk about it all night long. So let me just wind you up and turn.
Yeah, you might as well. I'm over here yawning. I'm ready to go on a late night, because nothing like a little extra innings baseball to get us started in the last series of the Silver Boot. Rangers pick up that all-important 6th win in the Silver Boot series. So they got 2 games to win 1 to get the Silver Boot, but it would be nice if the Rangers could gain some ground on Houston while they've got them in town. They steal 1 tonight. I don't know about steal. I mean, really nice pitchers duel between Andrew Heaney and Hunter Brown. Both guys had good stuff. I mean, there were only 9 hits combined in the game, and let's see what, like 2 or 3 of them were in the 10th inning. So not a lot of offense to be had for either team during the while the starting pitchers were in there, and just kind of a tip of the cap to both those guys keeping their club right there in the game. And Heaney, like I said earlier, I thought he only really made about 2 pitches that weren't acceptable in the game, and one of them got punished, and the other one ended up being a hit by pitch. But overall, Heaney, I mean, he was pretty good. I think he goes 6 innings. He gives up just the 1 hit to Bregman. He had just 1 walk, and then he had the hit by pitch. So 3 base runners all night. Andrew Heaney gives up, and you can't really ask for much more than what Andrew Heaney gave you tonight. And I mean, quality start. I think that's about 6th quality start of the year. And as Andrew Heaney continues to be kind of a polarizing Ranger, I mean, tonight's just another example of kind of throwing it right back in there to it, because, I mean, as bad as he was his last outing, and he had, like 5 walks or something like that, I mean, today he's all over the strike zone. He's getting swing and miss out of the zone on that slider, and he's ahead in almost every count. And, that wasn't what we saw the last time that Andrew Heaney was out. So, but good for him on really bringing his A game to the ball yard tonight, and having a really nice outing for Bochy and the gang, and getting them keeping them in a ball game with Houston that could have really went either way tonight for sure.
Yeah, and I would say we said this all year last year, and we actually said it at the opening of this season that Andrew Heaney, he is a very hot, cold kind of guy. Like he really is. I mean, he's a guy that can go out there and pitch like a number 1, and he's a guy that can go out there and make you go, man, why did we sign this guy?
Send him to the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, he really, that is kind of who he is. I mean, we know this about him. And I would say right now, if we were to the season ended today and there were no playoffs, and I don't mean the Rangers doesn't make the playoffs. I'm just saying, if let's say he gets hurt and he doesn't throw another inning for the Rangers, we have gotten a heck of a deal on that Andrew Heaney contract thus far. I think we've come out way ahead on it, because he's made a big contribution to this team, and he's been what we've expected him to be, and really kind of over-delivered a little bit on what we had hoped from him. We didn't expect him to come in here and be our starter or our number 1, number 2 guy. We expected him to be starting pitching depth, possibly
a long man in the pit.
Possibly a long man, left-handed help out of the bullpen. And honestly, he's over-delivered on that, and especially this year.
And I was going to say, don't forget how versatile he was in the playoffs last year for the thing because he made starts in a couple of those series when they needed a starting pitcher, and then he also got outs for him out of the bullpen when they needed outs from a left-handed pitcher too. So
So
I think the Rangers definitely on what they're paying him.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, they've gotten some great value out of him. To go out there and throw 6 one-hit innings is really nice for him. We've kind of already talked a little bit about the bullpen.
One thing I was going to say on the bullpen: 4 strikeouts today from Yates in 2 innings. He's his last 2 outings have both been kind of long. He's had 30 pitches his last outing, 25 this outing. So might be something to just kind of monitor throwing 55 pitches in his last 2 outings in 3 days.
Well, you got to tip your hat to him for one, for that, but also two, you can do this when you've got Robertson, Chafin, and even Spores, who all can come in and close a game in a pinch if you need it. So it does give them a little bit of that versatility. But I wanted to mention this in the bullpen talk, but I was saving it for the game. But honestly, hats off to Chafin, Robertson, and Yates. This game could have gotten out of hand at any point with any of those guys. Yeah, really, it could have. And we've seen it time and again get out of hand when the Rangers are in a close game, and next thing you know, it's 7-2, and it's or 3, and they were like, dang, now we've got this huge insurmountable lead that we've got to come back from to get out of the, to win this game. And what they did is they gave the Rangers, they gave up a run, but they gave the Rangers an opportunity to win this game. And if it not for that, the Josh Smith home run is just a chip off of a lead. It's not your game winner. So that to me was as big.
And they're probably not in that spot at all with Josh Smith, if that's the case, especially if Robertson kind of flies downhill and gives up a couple of base knocks right behind that little bouncer that ends up scoring a run right there. Yeah. So, I 100% agree.
So, offensively for the Rangers, it was one of those games where they did just enough.
Really nice. Yeah, that the Nate Lowe walk was a pretty good at bat because he got into low 2.
Low 2, yeah.
Got the low 2 and worked his way to a walk and got on in front of an Adolis Garcia. But good base running there from Nate Lowe.
Right. Yeah, he busted
taking third base. He never ever even I would challenge the Astros arms on every opportunity that I got after watching them throw tonight. That sacrifice fly, that was the funniest throw I've ever seen in my that was up there with that one kid. Remember, we launched it up over the backstop. It was such a because Joe Adell or whatever a couple of weeks ago for the Angels. But that was, Nate Lowe is not the best runner on the Texas Rangers, but he looked like they made him look like he was one of them cats running a 9.92 100 at the Olympics with those throws that they made today. And that one from McCormick in left field, that was the funniest thing I've seen in a while on a baseball field. That didn't.
This is funny because it's pro baseball. That's pro base. This is a pro baseball player.
Yeah, that was.
I'm
could
trying
you
to
imagine
remember
what we would be saying if Wyatt Langford had made that same throw? We'd
never
be trashing the dude. We would be killed. We would be.
He can never play left field again.
Yeah.
He's only a DH.
Get Robbie Grossman out there.
He's only a DH. He can only DH because he's just not a left fielder. Hey, I can't remember. Okay, who is calling the game tonight?
I think it's Murphy and Dave Raymond.
Yeah, so it was Murphy then. I thought it was Murphy. And now I can't remember what he said, but he said something about McCormick's throw, and it just had me rolling, man.
Well, as almost the same player as McCormick during his time in Major League Baseball, David Murphy could absolutely say that about that throw. But I never saw David Murphy airmail something into that was bounce that shit or something. Good.
It's just I was just like, man, he's really going for it. Like when he wound up to throw it.
Right.
He's ready to go. And then it just.
And then it looked like something you saw like on an adult rec league softball field
You know
every
what it
Thursday
reminded me
night
of
at 9 p.m.
a little bit? You know what it reminded me of? Remember Quincy Carter for the Cowboys when he would roll out to his right and he'd get ready to launch one, coming around, to his right, launch a ball downfield, and that thing would just fly.
Whale all the way there.
And it would like duck out of bounds. And you're like, oh, that was a professional football player throwing a duck like that. It reminded me had a little Quincy Carter going on that. So that was kind of
Garcia takes third on that play, and the Rangers had an opportunity right there to get one more, but Kelly grounds into a. Kelly, I didn't like his swings at all tonight. I didn't think he took very good swings.
But it was also right before who was hitting in front of Kelly. He also
Tavares sacrificed fly to get the run across. So that was the throw that Garcia took third on.
Well, then it was somebody else.
Runner on third, one out, and then Carson Kelly hit with the infield in and grounded out to Jeremy Pena. And then Josh Smith.
Yes.
I think he might have popped out to shortstop or something.
Shortstop. Yeah, both of those at bats were absolutely awful.
Yeah, no. Carson Kelly, I don't know what he was in such a hurry for, and that ball was up and in, and it wasn't very good.
Both of those at bats, though. Those at bats, both of those, I was just like, I think I tweeted it. I think that was me. It was me tonight, guys.
Yeah, no.
I said worst. We get a guy on third base because of the worst.
What? It's crazy.
History. And only the 2024 Rangers would let him off the hook and not capitalize. That was my.
Oh yeah, no, that's been the Rangers' MO all season is get runners in scoring position with less than 2 outs and not be able to do anything with it. And it's been, bases loaded, nobody out, ground ball back to the pitcher, nothing doing. It's been all season long, but. Seager, after Robertson gives up the run there in the 8th, he comes back, hits a 2-out home run. There was never any doubt about that thing. And he continues to just hammer baseballs in the end of July and August. Thought I saw somewhere where he had like a 1,600 ops plus since July 24th or something like that. It's been outrageous. He's like 700 on base or 700 slug. So, Corey Seager's been fantastic, and it looked pretty bleak in the 10th inning there. Grossman didn't have a great at bat, and I didn't think that Heim had a very good bat at either. But Smith, he knew he hit that ball a long ways, and Smith was out there playing left field tonight.
Remember somebody on here said that might happen.
Well, we saw it a lot last year early in the season.
And then they had Duran out there and right. They had Duran in left. So Rangers, I love it. I love using the versatility of these guys because they can do it. And I want to make a mention, and I don't remember. I think it was my sister. So big credit to my sister Cassandra, and big shout out to my nephew again, Xander, who I think we mentioned last episode.
Oh yeah, happy birthday to Xander for sure.
Yeah, man, he actually heard it. So
what, like 22? He's old now. He's like a grown man. 30,
I think he's
like a grown man now. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got a deeper voice than both of us.
Crazy, no doubt. Yeah.
Combined both of the depths of our voice together, we still wouldn't have a deeper voice than my nephew. But but she brought up that she felt like Josh Smith doesn't play as well when he DHs, and she feels like he's better when he gets to play in the field and hit at the same time. And that's actually a good take because I think there are players that are like that. I think Wyatt Langford might be a player kind of like that.
Yeah, I know. It takes a rare breed to be a guy that can DH and be successful at that and not have any time in the field. But they're out there. There's the Marcelo Zunas and the guys like that who are much better when they're not playing in the field. Yeah. And just hitting primarily. So, I can see that a little bit with Josh Smith. We saw him quite a bit in left field early in the season last year before some injuries started happening that put him more towards the infield. But, right now there's no doubt that you got to keep him in the lineup and wherever you're going to play him. That's where he's in there that night. And I thought he did just fine out in left field, and there's absolutely no way that Josh Smith's going to make that McCormick throw. So we're doing okay, but he gets that big walk-off hit. Rangers' first walk-off home run of the season. Josh Smith's first walk-off home run of his career, as I learned earlier in the show. And the Rangers, hey, they get one. They get one. They got to the bullpen. They got to that Astros bullpen in Presley with the home run, and then they were able to get not just a walk-off home run, but a lefty-lefty walk-off home run for Josh Smith. So good stuff for the Rangers, and we want to clean it real quick. Yates, 4-1 with a 1.08 ERA, gets the win, and then Caleb Ferguson takes the loss. He's now 1-4 with a 5.50 ERA, and the Rangers take that 6th win to go out in front 6-5 in the Silver Boot Series. And with one more win here before we come back and do a show again on Thursday, the Rangers will have won the Silver Boot for the first time, and I can't remember how long, maybe like 2016 or something like that. It's been a long while.
Yeah, and we talked about this last year, that it's important for the psyche of this Rangers team, Rangers organization, that they assert themselves in this American League West, and one of the ways you do that is by beating up on your big, who the perceived big brother. We already took a World Series, and we already took them out in the playoffs last year, but let's keep stomping the head and drive them down into absolute obscurity and ruin all of their morale as much as we can, so that their fans don't even want to come to our games anymore. So love every bit of that and would love to see that. So what about these pitching matchups over the next couple of days?
So tomorrow we're going to see the season debut of Tyler Mahle, which we're all excited about it, but I imagine that you're probably looking somewhere at about 4 to 5 with 75 to 80 pitches, something like that. If he's cruising, he may get 5 with 80 pitches. If he's struggling, it may be 3 or 4. But Tyler Mahle, he's going to keep you in this ball game. Hopefully, he looks similar to how he looked at Round Rock, because the out pitches were there. He was getting good movement with the slider. So I'm looking forward to Tyler Mahle's debut. We've been looking forward to this since, December now. So here it is. It's here live, and the Astros are going to counter with their ace, Framber Valdez. Framber's been pitching pretty well, but the Rangers do have a tendency to beat up on him. So we'll just kind of see what happens tomorrow. That's a 7:05 start time. And then Wednesday, the Rangers have got a 1:35 afternoon game with the Astros. The Astros are sending Kikuchi to the mound, the guy that they just traded for from the Blue Jays. The Rangers actually saw Kikuchi, about a month ago when they were playing Toronto. So hopefully that'll rub off a little bit. And Urena threw the last time through in this spot to get the start. I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't get one more opportunity, just based on what he's done throughout the season. But it could be Dane Dunning, could be Corey, probably not Cody Bradford, though.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, Bull. I really don't think they know, because with the Mahle start tomorrow, there's a good chance that you have a guy.
Yeah, you need Urena or Dunning, yeah. Yeah,
that you need a guy that could get you 3 innings or so off the back end of that Mahle start. And it might 100%. Just kind of be, it might just be like whoever works out.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And it depends on if maybe they need to go to Dunning or Urena, whoever they feel.
Tonight. So, Dunning was up in the bullpen tonight. So
he was
playing it by ear for real.
Yeah, and this is for all our people that listen in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex or in Texas. This is an MLB Network game. So if you're not doing anything Wednesday afternoon, check out the Rangers broadcast on the MLB Network. And you never know, Wednesday afternoon, 1:35, I might just head on over.
Man, it's going to be a weekend or a Thursday getaway. I don't think my boss listens to the show.
Wednesday, yeah, they're off on Thursday, actually.
I'm sorry, yeah, Wednesday getaway. I don't think my boss actually listens to the show. He's going to be in Maryland. So, I just got to pretend like I'm at work. I mean, I'm just saying, I got to pretend like I'm at work, But if we do go to that game, get your earbuds, bring your earbuds so that we can put the noise cancel on and we can just call each other and talk baseball on our phones during the game.
Word. Sounds good to me.
Hey, this has been fun. What a fun night. It's always fun to get on here after a Rangers win, especially a big walk-off against the rivals. I think we're done predicting or having the narrative of, or have they turned it around yet? I'm done. I'm not bringing that up. I'm not
No,
even
just
talking
watching
about that
baseball.
anymore. It's just we're going to talk about each game by game, and I think that's the best way to take it with this team because we've been talking all year. Well, if they turn it around, are they going to turn? Is that the one? Is this the win? Is this? And they even said it on the thing tonight with Josh Smith. So you think this is the win you guys needed to turn it around? And I'm like, look, I'm not bringing that up. Let's just win a game at a time.
Watching baseball, we're watching baseball, talking about it after it happens. That's all we're doing right now.
Yep.
If they turn things around, fantastic. But it is what it is at this point.
Well, and for our sanity, it's probably the best thing we can do.
100%.
Just to enjoy baseball as it comes. Thanks everybody for tuning in. TX Rangers WTB. Don't forget to check out the website TexasRangersWithTheBoys.com.
All one word.
Which is all one word. Yeah, that. And that's where you can check out our exclusive content down on the farm with the boys. I'm telling you guys, top 40 prospect list. I'm pumped about it. If you're not pumped about it, if you haven't subscribed yet, this is the time. I'm telling you, this is like my favorite part of the year. It's so much fun doing these lists. And I'm telling you, the savant over here next to me somehow knows what Jim Callis is thinking in his brain, because the minute we put our list out, Callis will all of a sudden copy everything that he does.
No way.
I think he's like a secret subscriber. So go check out our exclusive content down on the farm with the boys. We cover all things Rangers, minor league. Thanks for being watching our Made for Radio faces right here on the YouTube, on the Sports Fluent Network. All you got to do is just search Texas Rangers with the boys. We'll pop up. Subscribe if you want to watch us on here. Thanks again to all of our farm hands one more time for supporting the show. For the 300-pound manimal, this is your boy Kev. We're Texas Rangers with the boys. We're signing out.